Nigeria's lawyer and human rights activist, Barrister Femi Falana, on Tuesday at the 30th Anti-Corruption Situation Room, ACSR Forum in Abuja, has vowed to sue the World Bank if it goes ahead to issue the $800 million subsidy palliative as a loan. The human rights activist in an interview argues that it is illegal for the Nigerian government to borrow for a non-capital project, and the Fiscal Responsibility Act doesn't have any provision for taking foreign loans for the purpose of providing palliatives for citizens.
Under the Fiscal Responsibility Act, you cannot take a loan for palliatives. Sections 43 and 44 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act are very clear that loans are meant for capital projects. So you can't take loans for a palliative. Secondly, the National Assembly
Mr. Falana,
have to give an approval to the request for a loan.
Apologies.
Yeah? No, it's not a loan, but a grant. A loan cannot be used for palliatives under the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
But that is what is being called, Mr. Falana.
The World Bank should be persuaded to appreciate.
That is what the World Bank calls it.
No, it doesn't matter
what the federal government calls
it. We are not taking a loan. The World Bank knows the provisions of the law. The federal government of Nigeria knows the law, and that you cannot take a loan for palliatives. So to that extent, it was the World Bank that came up with the idea of giving the money. The government never applied for a loan. The World Bank said, let's encourage you to remove fuel subsidy. Therefore, we are giving you a grant of $800 million. Some people are calling it a loan. It is not a loan. You don't give a loan without a request, without an approval by the National Assembly. See, that you are not giving a loan. And if you insist it's a loan, we are going to challenge it. What they have given is a grant, and we're not going to pay back. You want to encourage the government to remove fuel subsidy for reasons best known to you. So coming back to what should happen, I think the government is saying now that we are saving $10 billion from the removal of fuel subsidy. And that is what the government will have to address. How much of that fund will be deployed with their mark for addressing the challenges faced by Nigerians? That's all that means to address the problems confronting our people. Since all the state governments are clapping for the removal of fuel subsidy, the attention should not be on the federal government alone. The state government must intervene decisively. The local government must also bring out their own palliatives to address the pains that have been inflicted on the Nigerian people. 137 million people, they're extremely poor. The $800 million being proposed by the World Bank will go nowhere. And that is why the government will have to take the bulk of the $10 billion being saved to address the problems, the challenges of the removal of fuel subsidy. Secondly, we must also look at statutory palliatives, welfare programs already decreed by law for implementation by the government. For instance, you are supposed to have national health insurance scheme for Nigerians. Is that working? You have Pension Reforms Act. Why are people still keen up to collect pension? You have Child's Right Act, Child's Right Law in each of the states. These laws have insisted that every Nigerian child shall be educated from primary to junior secondary school. For me, you have the Housing Act, National Housing Act, that prescribes that 2.5% of the salary of a worker will be deducted and put in a fund so that workers can apply for housing loan. These are statutory palliatives that have to be implemented now.
He also added that what the country needs from the World Bank is to help identify where Nigerians' looted funds are hidden. They have the information. Instead of multiplying our problems by saying they are giving us a loan, they should tell us where our looted monies are hidden, he said. The fiery lawyer urges the Bola Tinubu administration to speedily provide cushion for the effects of the subsidy.